Hello there. Hey. How are you? How are you? I know, long time no see. Hello, friend. Hello, friend. Long, way too long time no see. I understand. I disappear. I be dipping. I be dipping out on y'all and, just kind of living my life. I've been doing a whole lot of things. Been in New York, been back, been online, been live, been this, been that. What I'm here today for, though, is we're going to talk about this here blood moon situation. We have a full moon that is a blood moon, and it is also a lunar eclipse. So there's a lot that's going on with this, and I want to talk about that and everything that's kind of like life is kind of blowing up. But we're going to focus today about the blood moon and what I'm receiving about that. So I'm going to play a really short clip. I want you to grab your beverage, grab if you got a little food or whatever, do whatever you're doing. I'm going to play a little intro. We're going to come right back and we're going to talk about this blood moon. And I'm going to give you guys some ideas about it and what I'm seeing about it and what we can do with this energy that I think might be a little bit different from what you're hearing from everybody else. So here we go. All right, welcome back. I'm going to do a new intro. If any of y'all are inspired and would like to do one for me, just let me know. Leave me a comment. Okay, listen, this is what we have going on. We have on the 7th of September. So I'm recording this on the 4th. So I'm actually giving y'all plenty of time. On the 7th of September at 6:08 Eastern Time, we are having a blood moon lunar eclipse. There's a lot going on with this eclipse. There's a lot of energy. You guys know we talk about lunation cycles, but we are right now in September. It is kind of the start of eclipse season. There's a few interesting things that I want to note already. We've already had a new moon in Virgo, right, a couple weeks back. This is a full moon in Pisces, and we're going to have a second. It's going to be new moon Virgo Libra-ish, like right cuspy. So this is very significant for our identity. And I call this, right, fighting for self. What we're seeing just globally, period, right, is this very hard, weird, how do I want to put this? Like almost warring juxtaposition between what it seems like, if we want to call them globally elites, we want to call it the system, we want to call it the man, we want to call it whatever, what these governmental or other types of structures, religious, government, whatever structures want, and it appears that they're pushing us towards, as opposed to what we should be, what we really want to see, or how we're going to interact with this world. I'm going to give you a specific example. I'm seeing all over TikTok, all over Instagram, all over everywhere, people are talking about how it's just so expensive. Like, how are we even going to survive? Right? I'm sure a lot of you are feeling that. I'm sure a lot of you are feeling like the grocery prices are so high, or some of you are looking to buy a house and you're just like, when can I actually buy a house? Like, how am I ever going to really do this? Or want to have a family, or, it can be thing after thing after thing, jobs, this, that. And we're trying to find our identity. What we have thus far, and I've been talking about this for a long time, but I'm going to say it now in a different way. It has come to a head, the fact that what we have been told, how we should identify ourselves, how we should identify, who we should identify with, how we should be playing the game. We are finding out that the game is rigged and it ain't what we thought it was. We're finding out really quick that the old ways of identification, self-identification, self-gratification, how we found who we are and how we defined ourselves just doesn't work anymore. And now it's a series of identity crisis. I could go from everywhere. I could talk about this on an ethnic level. The FBA movement. I don't care what y'all think about the FBA movement, what you do, what you don't. I don't really care. My point, foundational Black American. The point is there's a number of people, including myself, who are now like looking at the true records and not history or his story, and we're saying, I never really identified necessarily with coming from Africa anyway. Like I can show you pictures of me, and then we go look at people who are either, maybe Mexican Indian even, or what, we might term as native. And I'd be like, I look like them. I don't look like, right? So even from that, how do I identify myself as a woman? How do I identify as a woman in America, a Black woman in America, a single mother, a grandmother, a this, a that, an entrepreneur, a this, or that? And what we're finding is all of these identities no longer work. Even from the religious standpoint of what we've believed to be the absolute, like, this is dogmatic Christianity doesn't work. And I'm not saying Christianity doesn't work. So before y'all want to call me a heretic and this and that, first of all, I really don't care. Second of all, I want you to understand what I'm saying is how we've interacted with this energy and how we've interacted with our own identity doesn't work anymore. And it seems like people are super angry. And it seems like people are just like, it's just even like, it's just hard. It's just in general, it's hard. Like everybody's leaving the job, or everybody's starting a new business, or or the jobs are closing. And there's a lot going on. So we're going to talk about this blood moon. I'm going to talk about the astrological energetic point of view from it. And then I'm going to give y'all a little bit of insight into a few more things. Now, while we have this, before I start, at any point during this entire session here that you're watching this here, I'm looking here. Okay. I want you at any point during this time to know that I have created something very special for you. Download your free Eclipse. I can type, really, I can. Eclipse integration guide. At HTTPS. But you don't have to type that in. You can actually do it right here at theeclipseguide.com. I created for you guys an eclipse guide, and it is, I'm going to put this down at the bottom. I'm going to scroll it. Theeclipseguide.com. Just type in theeclipseguide.com. Let me share with you what that's going to take you to. That is going to take you to this site right here, theeclipseguide.com. It's going to take you to this site right here. Okay. And you'll see that the title of it, right, is Living the Christ Consciousness Identity Shift. So I'm already going to give you, that's giving you an idea of what we're going to be talking about. Okay, so here we go. We talk about it, and this is going to take you through the entire next 2 weeks. All right, this is going to take you through the entire next 2 weeks. And then the next thing, I'm going to actually upload something for you so you can see what the guide itself looks like. You're going to fill this out. I would like your phone number, but if you don't want to, that's totally cool. I get it. But you're going to get this as soon as it's done uploading. Here we go. So you're going to get this, and it's going to be your eclipse integration guide from September 7th through September 21st, 2025. And it's literally going to tell you why this eclipse is really important. And then I'm going to take you through why I'm doing these daily anchor practices, right? What they're all about. And it's going to take you through week 1, your affirmations, your embodied practices, and then week 2 affirmations, embodied practices with some journaling. And you will also have some, it's a fillable PDF. Okay. So the fillable PDF, and you can fill that out. So I want you to go to theeclipseguide.com, even as you're listening to this. Download that right now. Don't wait. Download that right now. And once we get, I'll talk to you about what we're going to do leading up to this eclipse. But this is going to take you through those 2 weeks in between. This is the start of the eclipse, the full moon, where we're releasing. And then in the new moon, we're going to embody. So the full moon, we're going to release. And in the new moon, we're going to embody. All right, here we go. Let us begin. So I'm going to take us to, here we go. All right, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, as hopefully I can make it. Can I? Probably can't. So guys, we're going to have to live with this as much as we can. Let me see. Yep, let's do that. Okay, you guys know I do the astrological chart, so let's talk about where we've got this new moon happening. Let me hide this so I can see where this full moon, is happening. This full moon, this full blood moon, we're going to do everything mainly in red here, is happening at 18 degrees Pisces. At 18 degrees Pisces. Now, some people will say, and it's also happening conjunct the North Node. The North Node is at 15 to 18 degrees, somewhere around there. And then, we've got the moon there as well. This chart shows it at 15, but that's not necessarily accurate. I find this interesting because, as we know, the North Node is where we're to be ascending to, right? That's traditionally evolutionary, where we're going to be ascending to, or where we should be ascending towards. I'm going to put it to you like this, though. The North Node is actually also kind of where we may end up getting tripped up a lot in our evolutionary stage. And the moon's north and south node axes change about once a year, once every 13, 14 months or so. And so we're just coming out of that North Node being in Aries for the last year, which was fabulous for me because my moon is natally in Aries. So I was like, hey, this is beautiful. Anyway, but now with this North Node in Pisces, I find it interesting because that really says to me, it's time for us to really begin to activate our dreams. Now, the North Node is already halfway through Pisces, which is insane to me that it's already halfway through Pisces. So we don't necessarily have a ton of time. We have about 6 more months of this before it goes then and changes signs once again and goes into the Leo Aquarius axis, which we'll talk about when we get closer to that. But this to me says, North Node, what dreams have you been having? What dreams have you wanted to achieve? What dreams have you not been really willing and able and feel like you can speak on, and that you can actually make true? And now it's saying you have to activate yourself in order to do so. And the moon is illuminating all the feelings and emotions and thoughts surrounding that. Because also, this is also just when Saturn has now regressed or is in retrograde into Pisces as well. So technically we could say it's within 7 degrees. So it is a very loose conjunction. But this eclipse is bringing a karmic reckoning around your emotional patterns, your emotional boundaries, and your spiritual responsibility. So if you've been, this is why we're beginning to see, even again, here's another wave of pastors, apostles, whatever, people who have represented themselves as some sort of spiritual guru or spiritual leader, we're seeing all their crap laid bare, right? We're seeing, I mean, no shade, no tea. We're seeing people like Dr. Umar, that Black apostle with that white woman that was like trafficking children or something, like trafficking people. Like, it was just disgusting, right? Like, that we're seeing a lot of that again, and you're going to see more of it. Okay, because the cleansing that's happening, like even some of your faves, a lot of your faves, probably you're like, ooh. It doesn't shock me that like TD Jakes has stepped down and those things, because it's really time out. This is kind of like new guard also happening. So we're seeing the old guard exiting, the new guard entering, and because we're really now in a time of Aquarius gnosis, right? This Pluto in Aquarius, we are in a time of personal appreciation, personal understanding and understanding of our own divinity and how we really interact with the cosmos. This is now time to finally look inward rather than always looking outward for a savior. I've been saying to y'all for a long time, there is nobody coming in on a white horse to come save y'all. It is not happening. There's nobody riding in on a white horse. I hate to break it to y'all, but there's nobody coming in on that white horse. And what do I mean by that? I'm not trying to say, oh, well, Revelation is a lie, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going there. Where I am going is this. You have everything within you to do what you need to do on this earth. You have everything within you and all the power within you, and everything is already encoded within you to facilitate and to reach your personal purpose. You have everything within you to really finally awaken to your own identity. And this, what have you not been doing? And how have you been stopping yourself from being able to do it? All your old identities, a lot of the old identities are rooted in illusion. And now it's time to release that. They're rooted in illusion. They're rooted in martyrdom. They're rooted in victimhood, and all that stuff you can expect within the next 2 weeks is going to surface and make its way to the top. Those are karmic illusions. Those are karmic illusions. So listen, and this is not going to be cute, and it's not going to be pretty, and it's not going to be fun. But I'm going to tell y'all, because I'm a mama, I'm a grandmother, right? So it's time out for all y'all victimhood stuff. It's time out for the martyrdom. It's time out for, like, we have sacrificed a lot for our kids. Yes, true enough. But some of us have adult children, and they continue to make us feel guilty and want us to sacrifice even more. We're done with that. It's time out for all that. They're adults. Live your life. I'm gonna deal with whatever I kind of put out here, right? Because I'm sure that there's been trauma that I have inadvertently caused you. And I'm gonna deal with that. I'm gonna take accountability for that. That you should do, mother, father. But let me tell you what you should not do. I'm not gonna let you continue to make me out to be the martyr. I'm not gonna continue to allow you to make me out to be the bad guy. I'm not gonna continue to allow you to guilt me and shame me and to having to like support you. That's not what's going to happen. Okay, it's not. We're not doing that. It's time out for all that. It's also time out for the passive aggressive. It's time out for you have to really look at yourself and say, okay, wait, am I being passive aggressive and am I playing the victim? Or is this truly something that needs to be dealt with? And if it's truly something that needs to be dealt with, then you need to reset your boundaries and reset your standards. You need to reset the standards for how you're going to allow people to treat you, and then reset the boundaries for what's good and what's not good, what's allowed and what's not allowed. The standards are how you want people to treat you. That's not what you train people to do. The boundaries are the sets of rules that keep them within that standard. If you're not going to do that, then we don't have time. I don't want to hear it anymore. Like, this is either you're going to let the illusion go or you're not. Either going to let I'm also going to be talking to you a little bit about this whole kind of Christ consciousness and finding our new identity and being quote unquote born again. We have to dissolve old patterns. We have to end soul level contracts. We have a history. We have a karma. We have a DNA imprint, some of us, from all of us, from our ancestors on. It's time for us to say, this is this serving us anymore? Because if it's not serving us, then we're going to release it. And this is the 2 weeks to release it. This is the 2 weeks to release it. Your moon now is also directly opposite, right? The sun and Virgo in the sun in Virgo and the south node in Virgo. And then we're going to talk about Mercury here that is conjunct or will be conjunct the sun. So that opposition is calling us back to our own embodied discernment. What does that mean? Again, you have all that within you. Yes, I operate as someone that can help you see and understand and hear and everything else. But understand that there's a level of discernment you were already born with, baby. And Buki, you better go on and start tapping in. We need to return to this grounded grace. I'm not giving you, oh boy, I don't know where this is all coming from. And I really need to try to keep this to a minimum here because I have food in the oven. Listen to me. I'm not giving you grace anymore just because. I have to have a grounded grace. What does that mean? That means if you are if I've been going to church here for forever and you're my pastor and I find out, that you are messing around with the church secretary, listen, that's between you and your God. But honey, you can't lead me anymore because there's too much sin going on in your life. I hate to use that word sin. Listen, you ain't doing the right thing. Grounded grace. I'm going to give myself grace to know that there are things yes, I'm human. Yes, I'm this. Yes, I'm that. But I'm also going to give myself enough grace to walk into and step into that next identity. Some of y'all are trying to manifest and create and do things and be something, but you have no idea how to shift into that identity. You don't even believe yourself that you are that person. And you've not allowed yourself enough embodied discernment to be able to decide and to dictate to yourself, yep, that's it. You can't decide if you want to start that new business because you haven't really figured out yet what you want to be, what you want to represent, because you don't believe that you have enough to represent somebody else or enough to teach somebody else, enough to do. When are you going to ground into? When are you going to decide that you are who you are? When are you going to realize that you are what other people have been telling you are for months, maybe sometimes years, sometimes decades? When are you going to decide that honestly, baby, that you're going to get to know yourself so much that you know yourself better than you know what's going on in the life of your favorite hip hop artist or Instagram influencer or your favorite reality TV star or whatever? When are you going to know yourself better than you know what's happening over there? When are you going to know yourself better than you know what's happening in the latest, legal things? When are you going to decide? When are you going to spend enough time and embody your own discernment and be grounded within yourself that you're going to know yourself so much that you are locked in and you are ready then to be reborn? When are you going to get to know yourself so well? See, that's what that Mercury right is right there, right? That Mercury rules Gemini, and Mercury also rules Virgo. So when are you going to get to know yourself so well and step into who you are being called to be? You cannot be the divinely called being until you understand that you yourself embody divinity. I'm going to say that again for the children in the back. You cannot be a divinely called being until you understand that you yourself embody divinity, that you have divinity embodied within you. Mary couldn't give birth to a man God, unless she herself was a female goddess. She had to understand that she was a divine vessel. That might blow some of y'all minds, but I want you to hear me straight up. I can't birth something that I am not. A human being is never going to birth a dog. A dog is never going to give birth to a litter of human beings. You cannot give birth to something that you're not. So until you really understand that you yourself embody divinity and you are divinity, now that's a word for somebody. Somebody's going to say, and if that was a word for you, I'm going to need you to comment right now. That was a word that was for me. I'm going to need you to comment. I'm going to need you to put in the chat. I'm going to need you to leave a comment. I am a divine being. I'm not saying that you're the divine being. I'm saying you're a divine being, and a divine being that has a divine purpose, that has a divine pathway, that has a divine, that has divine protection, that has divine prosperity. So when are you going to decide to be that person? Okay, let's keep it moving, because I want to keep it cute and keep it clean. So here we have a trine to Jupiter in Cancer. This moon trines Jupiter in Cancer. You know what this is? This is telling us here. That is offering you emotional expansion, compassionate healing. This is saying your new identity as you're releasing all the old illusions that are no longer serving you. And be very clear, they're not serving you. It is not serving you to feel like you can't do anything right. It is not serving you to be the whipping boy or the whipping girl or the whipping post for your entire family. It is not serving you, hello, to think that you cannot ascend past a certain level because you've been told you don't have the right degree. It is not serving you. None of that, sir. So I need you to, this is what we're going to be doing, right? We're going to be discovering what's not serving us any longer and releasing those illusionaries. And what I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say this too. You need to mind the business that minds you. You need to mind the business that is your own. I'm going to know what's going on elsewhere, but this is my time to lock it in. Have y'all seen the lock-in challenge on TikTok? We're going to do that right here. We're going to do a lock-in challenge. We're locking it in. What does that mean? I want you to stay locked in on your health. I want you to stay locked in on your mental health and your physical health, your emotional health. And I want you to stay locked in on whatever it, be it career, be it business, be it what, I want you to stay locked in. I want you to stay locked in on these goals. I don't need you to tell me everything, but I need you to stay locked in. Now, this is one other thing. I'm going to open, y'all have seen me open this right here. My good friend, let me find this. Hold on. My good friend, and he doesn't even know that I'm doing this. My good friend Armand Wiggins, y'all know that's my good friend. You know that's my good friend. So let me, I don't want all that. Okay, so here, I have this. Let me grab a link here. This isn't even a link where I'm going to make any money. So just so y'all know, this is not even a link where I'm going to make any money. I'm going to put this down in the description as well. Let me go to my banners. You can tell I ain't been here in a long order. 60-day manifestation cleanse on Amazon. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna ask y'all to order the 60-day manifestation cleanse. If that is on Amazon, let me share that screen. Stop that screen share. We're gonna share a different screen. I'm gonna share this screen. So you can find that on Amazon. It's called 60-Day Manifestation Cleanse. It's a manifestation journal. It's in paperback. You can see it's only $13.95. Now, I know y'all got an extra $14. Okay, I know y'all got an extra $14. But what I'm going to show you right here, it comes in another package, child. Okay, we're going to put this down here. And don't do this at home. Now, I'm going to clean that up. Don't worry about it. I'm going to clean it up, y'all. I'm going to clean it up. So here we go. Here's your book. And if you go to Lux Life, I'll try to put that link in there in the chat as well. Here it is right here. Here it is right here in full glory. In full glory. Here it is right here. Okay. And you're going to go through this. It's a daily cleanse. And if you go to his Lux Life, it's a daily journal. Okay. Here's the guidelines. If you go to this and do his journal as well, do follow his 60-day. He has this on here, a 60-day playlist for Lux Life. I'm going to put this in the channel. I'm going to put this in the chat. Lux Life Manifestation. We're going to put the channel link in here. Again, he has no idea I'm doing this. So I love you, friend. Y'all going to let him know when you go over there and do all the tings of the tings. Control C. Let me put this in here. This is the link for Lux Life. Add banner. But what I want y'all to do is go to Lux Life and subscribe right there. Lux Life Manifestations. You're going to order that book. Okay, you're going to order this book and you're going to lock in. So that this will take you through 60 days of the end of the year. We're going to lock in. Okay, gang, we're going to lock in. Now, let me go back over here to what we was talking about before. And we're going to go here and we're going to stop here. So let's lock in. The reason why I'm having you lock in is this. Is because if you don't lock into this, if you don't figure out that this ain't serving you, what you've been doing ain't working. You have to decide that you're the divine being that has every birthright to everything that I've been telling you about. You have to decide that you're going to be reborn in a different image. You're going to have to decide that you want to renew your mind with the washing of what? Your word, and right? With the word, right? The word. You yourself are God, small g, God S, small g. This whole concept of being reborn in this Christ consciousness isn't, to me, the whole salvation thing. And we're getting more into this because y'all going to get something from me very soon that's really going to kind of blow your minds. We're going to teach on it. But this trying to Jupiter, right, is reminding you that grace and your inner resources is actually available to you. All right. We talked about it being aligned with the North Node. We're going towards spiritual purpose and be reoriented towards our soul's call and away from this perfectionism of Virgo. We don't need to be perfect. I've been talking about this on all my channels. We don't need to be perfect. We need to be in flow. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be in flow. And this is also the fixed star Arcanar in the constellation of Eridanus, is that of transitions. It is a fixed star of transitions, endings that create gateways. So basically, everything is aligning so that your new identity can shine through. This lunar eclipse also happens actually, even though we're saying it's in the time frame of Pisces, it's actually happening in Aquarius. It's actually happening in Aquarius. So this is not just your rebirth, but it's your invitation to rise to a new frequency into and how you show up in the collective. And finally, this all happens at 1808 military time, Eastern time. 18 reduces down to 9. 1808 actually reduces down to 9. 1 plus 8 equals 9, plus 0 plus 8 equals 8. 9 plus 8 equals 17. 17 plus 1 equals 8. Oh, it reduces down to 8. I'm so sorry. And so that is both endings and beginnings. Right? This 8 is infinity. This 8 is a karmic number. This 8 is rebirth. This 8 is who are you meant to be in all infinity. The end of the old and the empowerment of the new. The end of the old and the empowerment of the new. Now, the end of the old and the empowerment of the new. Now, there's a few more things. We're going to wrap this up in just a second. I want you all, as we're talking about ending the old and empowering the new, as you guys know, I do have clients, and that they're all either coaches or educators. And I want you to check this out. This is one of my clients. She is doing a wonderful 5-week, it's really a 6-week program that's all about recharting your course, about staying, about identifying what area in your life needs the most attention right now, and only really paying attention to that area, right? For the next 6 weeks. She's done a lot of studying. She's really strong. I really love her. I want you to get a little bit of information. Please watch this very short bit.
You've carried the weight long enough. The pressure, the burnout, the endless doing. It's time to lay it down and chart a new course. After studying with some of the great thought leaders of our time, like Martha Beck and Brene Brown and Carolyn Mace and Tara Brach, I developed my own unique method of letting go of societal norms that were suffocating. And I found the peace and the courage to be true to myself and truly live after a major life transition. So Rechart Your Course is a 5-week journey for women who are ready to shift patterns that no longer serve them, reclaim their values, and step into a lighter, more empowered way forward. Week by week, you'll reset, reclaim, realign, redesign, and reinforce your growth with daily practices and live coaching to keep you on course. By October 12th, you won't just feel lighter, you'll feel aligned. The journey starts September 7th. Reserve your spot today.
Awesome. And so when you do that, you're going to go to rechartyourcourse.net, that is wrong. Let me fix that banner down there, y'all. Why didn't anybody tell me? Oh my God. Girl, can you type? Cheese and rice. rechartyourcourse.net. All right, let's try that again. Save, scroll. Oh my God. When you go to that website, that's crazy. It's gonna take you to this landing page, and you're gonna be able to go through and you're gonna watch a little VSL from a little video from her and from Ellen, and you're gonna get a lot more information about this. This is all about realignment. She is absolutely fabulous. And we're going to go through which of the weeks, because this week that we're doing is free on September the 7th. And actually, it starts at 6 p.m. Eastern. So right when this full blood moon really kicks off, that's exciting. And so we're talking all about the reclaiming and realigning. And as you get down here a little bit further, there's a few different packages. One is the foundations, which is the course itself. The second one is the coaching package. And then the last here, where you can just kind of go and pop in on an introductory basis and get a real feel for all the great things that Miss Ellen is going to be able to help you do. So I do hope you take the opportunity to do rechartyourcourse.net. That's rechartyourcourse.net. And so we're going to put this down. Don't forget, you're going to want to go on and get your eclipse guide. So we're going to talk about the remainder of this, a few points that I wanted to bring up about this blood moon already. Let me share my screen. Here's the window. Here we go. Okay, so some other key transits I want us to pay attention to. We do have this Venus and Leo transit, and from the Earth's perspective, that's in the 9th house. It is in the house of higher learning. What that's going to help you do, that's Venus and Leo at 15 degrees. So everything is at 15 to 18 degrees. So it's almost like they're all hitting us at the same part of our being. And that middle part of any sign, of any house, that middle 10 degrees is kind of like the truest. It's where we kind of get into how do we become it, right? It's a little bit more fluid. It's how do we fix, that's the fixed portion of any sign, right? Or it's the next portion. So it could be the mutable. So for Leo, 15 degrees Leo really is kind of Leo Sag. So it's this mutable. How do we really become this, right? We're going to find themes of self-worth, creativity, and courage during these next 2 weeks. You're going to have to ask yourself the question, am I enough to shine as my true self? There are going to be some doubts. There's going to be some disagreements with yourself. There's going to be a lot going on, but you're going to have to make a decision. Are you going to shine as your true self, or are you still going to hide yourself under the bushel of what everybody else has told you? The heart, if you're truly listening to your heart, it is demanding sovereignty. Okay, we talked about Jupiter and Cancer. The other thing I want to say about Jupiter and Cancer, this could also show up and reveal generational or family-based identity patterns that need to be released. We have down here, let's kind of like clear everything. Clear it out. We have Uranus down here it's in retrograde in Gemini. Uranus just kind of went into Gemini to kind of give us this change in how we're thinking. Well, now it's in retrograde, about to go back into Taurus again for a little bit. Breakthroughs and disruptions could happen in your relationships, particularly around communication and authenticity. You have to watch how you're communicating. And I want you to really pay attention to how people are truly communicating with you. Collective identity shifts may show up through sudden revelations. This could be like one of this time period. These next 2 weeks are going to be really telltale for a lot of people, in like big groups of people, and how we're shifting, right? How you identify, if you're identifying with a different group, maybe you're moving more into a spiritual, indigenous or other practices. And again, this is this time to be born again. I really feel like we are shifting into a Christ consciousness level of we all are recognizing who we truly are and wanting to operate out of love. Those of us who honestly want to operate out of love. Some people cannot operate except for in fear. And they think they've been operating out of love, but really it's been operating out of fear, control, and they want to hold it down. So you're going to see people leaving podcasts. You're going to see people leaving like organizations that we've been identifying them with for forever. Like we're going to see that happen on a large basis. Okay. And then we do have, last but certainly not least, we do have Pluto over here in retrograde in Aquarius. Again, collective rebirth, a collective change in the systems of our thoughts, communities, and identity structures, all those being transformed, okay? All of those being transformed. So this is a great time. This is a time for the collective consciousness to wake up. This is a time for our own personal consciousness to wake up. This is a time for rebirth and being reborn. And I want you all to do just that. We need to think about rebirthing and being reborn in a different way, a much more metaphysical way and a less dogmatic way. Okay, that's all I got. I ain't got no more. I really hadn't planned on holding y'all this long. Again, go down into everything down below. Get your eclipse guide. I want you to go on and order your 60-day cleanse. I want you to tap in, lock in with Armand over there on Lux Life Manifestations. I want you to check out my girl, I love her. She's amazing. She's amazing. I want you to tap in with Ellen and go hang out over there and see what you think. She's an amazing coach, amazing teacher, and she's just fabulous. Comes from corporate, and now really is helping all of us kind of reach our goals and rechart our life and rebirth and become what we're meant to become in a different way. You guys, I'm going to be giving you some more information about this whole rebirth thing and what I see with this upcoming full moon and then new moon eclipse cycle. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to do some meditation and some things on the full moon itself. So look out for that as well. I can't wait, guys. This is going to be exciting. Next couple of weeks, it's really going to catapult ourselves into this next year and beyond. All right. Don't forget, get your eclipse integration. And listen, if you want to go on and you want to schedule a reading or something like that with me, please feel free to do so. The links are down below. And then we're going to also be talking about some new ways that you guys are going to be able to get those services, healing services, and other things for me as well. But go on and book those readings in with me, and I'd be more than happy to kind of help you step into this new identity and figure out what that means to you. And more than happy to do that. All right, guys, I will see you soon. Peace, love, blessings, and joy be unto you today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. I love you guys so much. Namaste. Bye.